What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody's having a great day so far. Also, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans, man. Thank you so much for serving. Thank you for everything you've done for this country here in the US, man. I know I have a pretty nice veteran following, man. So thank you. I appreciate all your service from the bottom of my heart. So today, yes, we're going to talk about how to play Songo on two congas. And we're actually going to be showing some variations. And it's going to be lovely. You gotta love it. So to all the new subscribers, welcome to Percussion Life. My name is Eric Perez. Some of you already know that by now, but just had to welcome you to the channel, and I do hope that you enjoy these videos. And if you haven't subscribed already, just hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button, find out whenever I upload. And I normally upload every Monday and every Thursday, and it's normally things that you request. And to all my day ones, man, thank you so much for all the love, all the support, all you guys checking up on me, man. Seriously, thank you so much, man. Like I said in previous videos, I've been pretty busy, and it's hard for me just to like sit down and do these videos, man. So I do apologize for missing a tutorial Thursday, man. It felt so weird. It felt so weird not to upload something on Thursday, but seriously, I was behind on a lot of things, and sometimes you gotta understand, you know, you do have a life and you have things to do, so you gotta love it. But today, yes, we're gonna talk about a highly anticipated video on Songo. A lot of you guys have been asking me on how to play Songo and breaking it down. And man, it's a topic that's so vast. But before even getting into that, we need to first understand that this rhythm, this flow of things was first generated by a group called Los Bambang in the 70s, man. So we need to understand that from Los Bambang, also the person that birthed this rhythm, birthed these patterns, was somebody by the name of Jose Luis Quintana Changuito. And again, we're gonna talk about him on another video, but first, you know, if you want to get the flow and the feel of this, listen to a lot of their songs and things that they kind of generated through their lifetime. They're a great group. If you haven't listened to Los Bambang, I'm trying to tell you, you guys are missing out. You guys are missing out on some rich history, beautiful music, crazy timba, crazy songo, crazy everything, man. Just this crazy beautiful music, man. So I do recommend you just taking the time, you know, listen to the music after watching this video, though. After watching this video. But because there are so many variations of Songo that have been birthed from Changuito and then have been innovated through the times, man, it's kind of hard to just put it all under one title, you know? How to play Songo on two congas. It's really hard to just put it all in one video, but I just chose a couple of variations to show you guys. I'm just gonna break it down on two congas. Then on Thursday, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna, you know, kind of take advantage of this topic and then do it on three congas. But yeah, you're gonna see a couple of variations, and I'm gonna play them through and then break each one of them down. So yeah, if it's a long video, I do apologize, but you gotta love it. Now that was some intense Songoation. You gotta love it. But yeah, let me show you what I'm doing. So as you see, I did quite a few variations of Songo, but it kind of had the same foundation. And that same foundation is kind of like just a basic tumbao that you're very familiar with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show each variation one by one, okay, and then kind of play it all through and show how it is counted at the end. And just to keep in mind, a lot of these variations are in 2/3 rumba clave, and just to have that feel in mind. All right, so yeah, let's get started on this. So I start this pattern really, and this is how each one of the Songo patterns actually start. And I start with a bass with my non-dominant hand and a finger with my non-dominant hand, and then a close slap with my dominant hand. So it's gonna sound like this. Again, this is how each of the Songo patterns start. Just always have that in mind. This is how they all start. Yeah, that's the foundation. That's the clue. You gotta love it. But for that first variation of Songo that I did, after doing that close slap, what I'm going to do is a finger with my non-dominant hand and then a bass with my dominant hand. So it's gonna sound like this. So to put that together, and then to basically finish that variation of Songo, after doing that bass with your dominant hand, with your non-dominant hand, you're going to do a close slap on the conga, and then with your dominant hand, you're going to do 2 opens on the tumba. So it's gonna sound like this. So to put everything together, it's gonna sound like this. But again, because this is on a 2/3 rumba clave bass, you know, it's a 2-bar phrase, so you gotta do that 2 times to really kind of complete the whole cycle and to do that feel. So to put that together, it's gonna sound like this. So in actuality, that's the whole thing. That's the most basic one. And if you want to even try, you could take one of the hits on the tumba and it's gonna sound like this. Crazy how much the feel changes just by taking one hit of the tumba. It's kind of nice. Now for the next variation, this is kind of where a lot of people get more familiar with that Songo sound. So kind of recap and show you what that sounds like. It's gonna sound like this. So for this one, we're basically going to do one of the rounds of that beginning part of that first variation. So it's gonna sound like this. Now after doing those 2 hits on the tumba, after doing that, you're actually going to do a slight ghost note with your non-dominant hand on the conga, and then you're going to do an open on the conga with your dominant hand immediately. So it's gonna sound like this. To hear how that feel sounds like coming out of that first round of the Songo, it's gonna sound like this. After doing that open with your dominant hand on the conga, well, what you're going to do with your non-dominant hand, and this is kind of tricky, but it kind of flows and it feels good. I don't know why, it just feels good. But what you're going to do is a bass and a finger with your non-dominant hand on the conga, and then you're going to do a bass with your dominant hand on the conga. So it's going to sound like this. So to put it together up to this point, and then to finish this variation, what you're going to do is you're going to do another close slap with your non-dominant hand on the conga, and then 2 opens on the tumba with your dominant hand. So it's gonna sound like this. Now to put everything together, it's gonna sound like this. Now to play the whole thing through, it's gonna sound like this. Woo! You really gotta love that one, man. That one is a really, really groovy one, man. Kind of flows. I don't know what it does, it just flows. Now this one is a slight tricky one, very modernish. A lot of slaps goes on this one, but I do love it. I don't know why, it just adds a nice attack, a nice presence to the Songo. But again, you know, it kind of makes you stay in one spot of the conga, kind of like how Changuito would stay a lot on the edge and he wouldn't move much. This is what this part does. It kind of obligates you to stay right here in the part of the conga. So yeah, let me show you how that one sounds. Trying to tell you guys, Songo's a vibe, man. This is crazy. Gotta love Songo. So again, we start this variation with a bass finger slap. After doing that close slap with your dominant hand on the conga, what you're going to do is a slight ghost note or finger tap with your non-dominant hand on the conga, and then what you're going to do is 2 close slaps, one with your dominant hand and then one with your non-dominant hand. So it's gonna sound like this. So to put it together up to this point, it's gonna sound like this. After doing that close slap with your non-dominant hand on the conga, with your dominant hand, you're going to go straight to the tumba. You're going to do 2 opens on the tumba. So to put it together, it's gonna sound like this. And again, like the previous variation, you're gonna go right back to the conga. You're going to do a slight ghost note with your non-dominant hand on the conga, and then you're going to do an open with your dominant hand on the conga. So it's gonna sound like this. So to put it together up to this point, after doing that open with your dominant hand on the conga, what you're going to do with your non-dominant hand, you're going to do a bass finger on the conga, and then you're going to do 2 close slaps, one with your dominant hand and then one with your non-dominant hand. So it's going to sound like this. And then to finish it off, you're going to do 2 opens with your dominant hand on the tumba. Now to put everything together, it's going to sound like this. Now to play it all the way through, it's gonna sound like this. You gotta love it, man. It's kind of lovely. Now let me show you this next one. This one's pretty simple if you get the one I just showed you. If you get the one I just showed you, literally you're just going to be replacing tones. Yeah, but yeah, let me show you. You gotta love it. But if you notice, it's just like the one we just talked about. Kinda crazy. And just for the sake of time, to kind of like just breeze through, literally, you know those two close slaps, the ones that are back to back that we just showed in the previous variation, you know these? Yeah, those, what you're going to do is just replace those with opens. That's it. Literally, that's it. That's the only difference. It's crazy just how tones can change the feel of things. But to play it slowly, just so you guys can see the difference back to back, it's gonna sound like this. It's the same thing. Did you see it? It's the same exact thing. It's kind of nice. But yeah, just remember, rather than doing those first close slaps, what you're going to do is those two opens. So again, you start this pattern, bass finger slap, then a slight little ghost note with your non-dominant hand, and then two opens, one dominant, one non-dominant. Then you're gonna do two opens with your tumba. Then again, a nice little ghost note with your non-dominant hand, and then an open with your dominant hand. Then a bass finger, then two opens again, one dominant, one non-dominant, then finishing it off with two opens on the tumba. Same exact thing. You gotta love it. Now for the last variation. Now this one's kind of tricky, so yeah, buckle your seatbelts. You gotta love that one, man. This variation is very popular, very modernized. There's so many different variations of this variation. It's kind of crazy how many variations of a variation of Songo's variation is out there. Gotta love it. And again, a lot of people have their takes on this particular variation of Songo, but you know, I'm just gonna try to break this one down. But yeah, again, we start this variation with a bass finger and close slap. And kind of like the previous variation, what you're going to do is a ghost note or a little finger tap with your non-dominant hand of the conga. Then you're going to do two opens, one with your dominant hand, then one with your non-dominant hand, and then with your dominant hand, go and do two opens on the tumba there. So it's gonna sound like this. To put everything together, it's gonna sound like this. And again, like the previous variation, after doing those two opens on the tumba, with your non-dominant hand, what you're going to do is a finger tap or a ghost note on the conga, and then with your dominant hand, you're going to do an open on the conga. So it's going to sound like this. To put it together. Now here's the tricky part. I'm gonna try to break it down as much as possible, but your non-dominant hand is going to be doing a lot of lovely stuff, man. So it's a great workout for your non-dominant hand. This is what this next part kind of sounds like. Kind of crazy, huh? But that's why it's so important to kind of stay in this area. It's really gonna help you kind of navigate back and forth to just stay right here. But after doing that open with your dominant hand on the conga, you're going to go straight into doing a bass with your non-dominant hand on the conga, and you're gonna leave it there. Then you're going to do a close slap with your dominant hand. After doing that close slap with your dominant hand on the conga, what you're going to do with your non-dominant hand is you're going to do a quick bass and finger, and then you're going to do another 2 close slaps with your dominant hand on the conga, and those 2 close slaps actually finish off the whole pattern of this variation. So it's going to sound like this. And then literally after doing those 2 close slaps, you're going to go back to the beginning, which is a bass finger close slap. Yeah, so to kind of hear it played until the end, it's going to sound like this. Kind of crazy, and literally you're just gonna go back to that bass and finger and close slap to start the whole variation all over again. So to kind of play it all the way through, it's gonna sound like this. Man, that was a lot of Songo. And I know a lot of people have different variations of that particular one. And I know this one's a little bit difficult and a little bit challenging because that non-dominant hand gets put to work, man. It's like a tongue twister. It really wants you to kind of like move faster or not, but you gotta follow the groove, man. You gotta follow the groove. But yeah, let me count this thing very slowly. I'm gonna do all the variations, so I'm gonna count them very slowly for you guys, just so you can get the feel of how it's gonna go. Yeah, you gotta love it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. My goodness, that was a lot of Songo. Yes. Man, but alright y'all, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry that it was so long, but there's so many different variations, man, and variations I didn't even get to touch. It's kind of crazy, man, how much there's out there information, and it's crazy to be able to try to put this in one video. But I chose a lot of the variations that I think are very much fun and easy to learn as just as an introduction to what Songo is. But again, please listen to a lot of this music, Lo Bamban. Listen to them, man, and also listen to a lot of Jose Luis Quintana Changuito. And man, it's just great pioneering, man. Great pioneering that he did this, man, and it's to the world. It's kind of crazy. You gotta love it. But all right, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Y'all already know what to do. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on Thursday, hopefully. But yeah, we gotta continue this little mini series and try to incorporate that lovely goodness and add a third conga. Oh yeah. Kind of crazy, but yeah, we're gonna do it. Yeah, we're gonna, yeah. All right, see you guys on Thursday. Peace.